man down. Listen, you boys.
Enough talk. Tell them.
তাড়াতাড়ি চলো এখান থেকে।
No,
You walk? Seatbelt.
চলো চলো
समझ में नहीं आया
टू बी
बोल रहे कर दे
Stay. Stay here. need you to run. Deep breath.
Call them back. Tell them to have secret.
We're getting played.
Tiago, Tyler, something's wrong. Hold your...
Our boys haven't come up yet.
200 meters and closing in fast.
We fuck.
They found the boat. It's inbound.
Ovi Mahajan!
Tell you two, you better run like hell or I'm gonna kill you.
Who's my...
Work for your father. Something is fucked. But if you want to live, you have to trust me.
Turn right after the bridge. You just passed it. What bed?
Your fucking seatbelt.
Slide on over here.
पापा का फोन।
Hey, champ.
कभी
कब?
करूँगा। got a chopper. Need it.
Adelante.
এই বোকা যদি আমার মেশিন আমার বন্ধুরা তো ঘুরে বেড়ে উড়িয়ে দেবো
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the adrenaline-fueled, bone-crunching world of Extraction, the 2020 action thriller that basically said, "Hold my beer," to every other action movie out there. If you're into non-stop, brutally effective combat, a surprising amount of emotional depth, and Chris Hemsworth looking perpetually stressed but undeniably heroic, then you've come to the right place. We're going to break down every explosive moment, every impossible escape, and every single time Tyler Rake probably should have just stayed home. This is a passion project for me, and a like or a subscribe is the best way to show your support. So if you're on board, join the crew. If not, thanks for watching anyway. The story kicks off not with a bang, but with a surprisingly calm, introspective moment in Kashmir. We meet Tyler Rake, played by the perpetually jacked Chris Hemsworth, chilling by a lake, looking like he's contemplating the meaning of life, or maybe just how many more reps he can squeeze in. He's got that grizzled, world-wear-weary, mercenary vibe down pat. Suddenly, he takes a rather dramatic leap off a towering cliff into the water below. It's less a fun summer day dive and more a drowning his sorrows in a very literal way kind of plunge. You immediately get the sense this guy isn't just seeking a thrill. He's probably running from something, likely deep-seated trauma that a regular therapist couldn't possibly unpack. The tranquility of the landscape starkly contrasts with the turmoil clearly bubbling beneath his surface, a theme that'll stick with him. Cut to a much less serene setting, a bustling mercenary base, where Tyler's handlers, Nick Khan and her partner Yaz, are getting the lowdown on their next impossible gig. The target is Ovi Mahajan Jr., the teenage son of India's biggest drug lord, currently being held hostage in Dhaka, Bangladesh by Amir Asif, his father's rival. Kidnapping a drug lord's kid? That's a bold move, Cotton. Ovi Sr. is locked up, but still pulling strings, offering a colossal bounty for his son's safe return. Nick explains the situation with the cool, collected demeanor of someone who orders assassinations like ordering a coffee. It's clear this isn't their first rodeo, and the stakes are higher than a kite in a hurricane. Dhaka is described as a prison, a city controlled by Amir's syndicate, making any extraction a suicide mission, perfect for Rake, apparently. Meanwhile, our poor kidnap victim, Ovi Mahajan Jr., isn't exactly having a stellar day. We see him, looking utterly terrified, bound and gagged in a dingy, dimly lit room. The walls are grimy, the air thick with despair. Basically the opposite of a 5 stars resort. He's a kid, utterly out of his depth, facing an incredibly grim reality. The weight of his father's criminal empire, which he's clearly trying to distance himself from, has come crashing down on him. This isn't just about money for Amir, it's about power, a brutal flexing of muscle in the cutthroat world of international crime. Ovi's wide, fearful eyes tell a story of sheer helplessness, emphasizing the danger he's in, and underscoring why Tyler's services are so desperately needed, even if the kid himself has no idea what's coming for him. Back to Tyler, who is now parachuting into Dhaka, ready to do what he does best, extract. He's dropped into the heart of a bustling, incredibly dense city. The sheer number of people, the cacophony of sounds, it's an immediate assault on the senses. We see him move with a silent, predatory grace, a ghost in a city of millions. His gear is practical, his demeanor all business. He navigates the labyrinthine streets, a walking paradox of stealth and brute force, every muscle twitching with readiness. The heat and humidity are practically dripping off the screen, adding another layer of discomfort to an already intensely hostile environment. It's clear Dhaka isn't just a city. It's a character in itself, an antagonist almost, with its narrow alleyways and endless eyes. Tyler wastes no time on sightseeing. He quickly gets to work, using a blend of old-school reconnaissance and surprisingly advanced tech to pinpoint Ovi's location. He stakes out the target building, a grimy, multi-story structure that screams, "Bad guys live here." With his trusty binoculars, he scans every window, every rooftop, every potential threat, his eyes like steel traps, missing nothing. He's not just looking for guards, he's analyzing patterns, anticipating moves, calculating risks. It's a masterclass in controlled paranoia. The sense of foreboding builds as we see the sheer number of armed men patrolling the perimeter, casually leaning against walls with their rifles, underscoring just how deeply Amir's control runs. Tyler's solo mission here feels less like an extraction and more like a tactical siege waiting to happen. No time for pleasantries. Tyler makes his move, breaching the building with the subtlety of a freight train. The apartment raid is a swift, brutal ballet of violence. He kicks in a door and instantly the air is thick with the crack of gunfire and the thud of bodies hitting the floor. He moves with incredible efficiency, a blur of motion dispatching Amir's men with precise, lethal force. Every punch, every headbutt, every shot fired feels incredibly impactful, the camera refusing to flinch. The sound design is fantastic here. You feel every bone-jarring blow, the sharp pop of suppressed firearms, the panicked shouts of the guards. It's a visceral, no-holds-barred assault, proving that Tyler isn't just good. He's a force of nature, an unstoppable, grim-faced wrecking ball of a man. Amidst the chaos, Tyler finally reaches Ovi. He doesn't bother with a heartwarming reunion. It's straight to business. He roughly unties Ovi, who is understandably still, in a state of shock and terror, and practically drags him out of the room. Ovi is disoriented, probably thinking, who is this very large, very angry man, and why is he yanking me around? Tyler barks orders, but Ovi's fear is palpable. He's barely processing what's happening. The gunshots echo in the confined space, the metallic clang of expended casings hitting the floor adding to the cacophony. Tyler uses Ovi almost as a shield at times, pushing him through corridors, protecting him from the torrent of bullets, all while maintaining his relentless forward momentum. It's a harsh, uncompromising introduction to Tyler's brand of rescue. They make it to a vehicle, and that's when Dhaka decides to turn into a demolition derby. The first car chase is absolutely relentless, showcasing the city's chaotic beauty and dangerous density. Tyler, with Ovi white-knuckling it in the passenger seat, weaves through traffic like a madman, dodging motorbikes, rickshaws, and pedestrians, all while taking a ridiculous amount of incoming fire. It's less a chase and more a high-speed urban demolition derby. Tires screech, glass shatters, and the roar of engines mixes with the rapid-fire bursts of automatic weapons. Tyler's driving is pure instinct and aggression, reflecting his get-the-job-done mentality. Ovi, meanwhile, is just trying to survive, probably wondering if death by kidnapping or death by reckless driving is worse. This entire sequence is a masterclass in choreographed chaos where every near miss feels genuinely stomach-lurching. Just when you think they might catch a break, they hit a bridge. Never a good sign in an action movie. This bridge is a choke point, a perfectly laid trap, and Amir's forces are waiting. Their car is quickly pinned, becoming a bullet-riddled tin can. Gunfire erupts from all directions, a deafening symphony of destruction. Tyler, ever the pragmatist, uses the car as temporary cover, returning fire with deadly accuracy, but even he can't be everywhere at once. The crunch of metal, the zing of bullets, and the screams of people caught in the crossfire create a terrifying soundscape. Ovi is petrified, hunkering down as much as possible, while Tyler grimly assesses their impossible situation. It's a stark reminder that in this world, safety is a fleeting illusion, and every corner turned brings a new, more lethal challenge. With the car compromised, Tyler makes a snap decision. Rooftops. It's a frantic, heart-pounding ascent, forcing Ovi to confront his fears head-on. Tyler practically hurls Ovi across gaps between buildings, demonstrating a shocking lack of concern for OSHA regulations, but a deep commitment to survival. The sheer height, the crumbling concrete, and the constant threat of gunfire from below create a dizzying, terrifying spectacle. We hear the scrape of their shoes on rough surfaces, the grunts of effort, and Ovi's gasps of fear. Tyler moves with the grace of a trained parkour artist, but with Ovi, it's more like dragging a sack of potatoes across a minefield. The camera work here is dynamic, swooping and darting, placing you right in the middle of their precarious, high-stakes scramble. It's truly a breathtaking sequence, literally and figuratively. After the rooftop gymnastics, they find a momentary fragile sanctuary in a dilapidated building. It's not pretty, but it's out of immediate harm's way. Tyler, ever vigilant, scans their surroundings, his senses on high alert. Ovi, still shaking, slumps against a wall, trying to process the sheer insanity of the last hour. The air is thick, with dust and the lingering scent of smoke. This brief pause allows for a moment of quiet, but it's a tense, uneasy quiet. The quiet thump-thump of their own frantic heartbeats is almost audible. This is where the emotional cracks start to show, as the immediate danger subsides, leaving room for the trauma to settle. It's a much-needed breath, but it feels more like holding your breath underwater. In the safe house, Ovi's fear morphs into desperation. He doesn't trust Tyler, which, let's be honest, is a pretty rational response to being dragged through a war zone by a stoic, murderous stranger. He sees an opening and bolts, trying to make a run for it. Tyler, however, is a seasoned professional. His instincts are razor sharp. He anticipates Ovi's move and quickly apprehends him, not gently either. The struggle is brief, but impactful, highlighting the vast power imbalance between them. We hear Ovi's frantic breathing, his pleas, and Tyler's curt, gravelly commands. It's a poignant moment that underscores Ovi's vulnerability and Tyler's unwavering, almost brutal commitment to the mission. He's not there to be Ovi's friend. He's there to deliver him, no matter how much Ovi protests. Just when you thought things couldn't get more complicated, Tyler gets a call from Nick. The news is a punch to the gut. Ovi Mahajan Sr., the kid's own father, has double-crossed them. It turns out Ovi Sr. wanted Saju, his own head of security, to extract Ovi Jr. so he wouldn't have to pay Tyler's team. Saju, being a family man himself, needed the money to get his own kids out of a bind, so he agreed to the plan. This revelation lands with the weight of a lead balloon. Tyler's face hardens, his jaw clenching. He's been played, used as a distraction while Saju planned to swoop in and rescue Ovi himself. The betrayal adds a whole new layer of danger, turning a straightforward but deadly extraction into a three-way dance of death. And just like that, Saju bursts onto the scene, not as an ally, but as an immediate threat. The fight between Tyler and Saju is absolutely savage, a masterclass in realistic, visceral combat. These aren't fancy kung fu moves, it's raw, desperate brawling, each man trying to outmuscle and outwit the other. The grunts, the heavy breathing, the sickening thwack of punches landing. It all sounds incredibly real. They slam each other through walls, use anything and everything as a weapon, and showcase a brutal efficiency that comes from years of fighting for their lives. Ovi is a terrified bystander, witnessing two titans clash, each with their own desperate motivations. The confined space makes it even more intense, every blow reverberating through the decaying structure. It's clear neither man is backing down, easily. The fight with Saju is interrupted by Amir's ever-present forces, who seem to have a sixth sense for where trouble is brewing. Tyler and Ovi are forced to bolt again, now with two separate factions gunning for them. Saju, ever the persistent shadow, is still on their heels, adding another layer of anxiety. They tear through narrow, winding alleyways, the sounds of pursuit echoing behind them. The claustrophobia of the urban environment is amplified here. As they duck and weave through crowded spaces, the threat of being cornered ever present. Ovi is barely keeping up, his lungs burning, his mind racing. Tyler, meanwhile, is a force of grim determination, constantly assessing escape routes, pushing. Ovi forward, a human shield in a sea of enemies. It's a dizzying, relentless sequence that showcases the sheer logistical nightmare of navigating Dhaka under siege. Back at his lavish, yet menacing compound, Amir Asif gets wind of the chaos. He's not pleased, to put it mildly. He's a man of absolute control, and this unauthorized freelance extraction is a direct challenge to his authority. He's shown barking orders into a phone, his voice dripping with venom, commanding his forces to lock down the entire city. It's like Grand Theft Auto Dhaka edition, but with far higher stakes. He puts a massive bounty on Ovi's head, dead or alive, effectively turning every street thug and corrupt cop into a potential hunter. The city transforms into a suffocating cage, its escape routes systematically cut off. This escalation ratchets up the tension even further, making Tyler's mission go from difficult to borderline suicidal, if it wasn't already there. No rest. For the wicked, or for Tyler Rake. They stumble into a dimly lit underpass, a perfect location for an ambush, and Amir's men are predictably waiting. Another intense firefight erupts the confined space, amplifying the roar of weapons and the echoing ricochets. Tyler uses the environment to his advantage, bouncing off walls, using pillars for cover, moving like a phantom in the shadows. The pop of his suppressed pistol is chillingly efficient against the louder, more desperate bursts from the enemy's automatic weapons. Ovi is forced to stay low, his ears ringing, the stench of gunpowder heavy in the air. The scene is a masterclass in tactical close-quarters combat, where every move, every shot, means the difference between escape and being overwhelmed. It's tight, brutal, and doesn't let up. One of the more unsettling aspects of Amir's reign is his use of child soldiers. Tyler and Ovi encounter a group of these young, armed boys, probably no older than Ovi himself. It's a gut-wrenching moment as Tyler, a man whose entire life is about taking lives, visibly hesitates. He tries to disarm them non-lethally, but they're too indoctrinated, too desperate to back down. The scene highlights the tragic cycle of violence and poverty in Dhaka. Tyler's reluctance is palpable, a flicker of humanity in his otherwise hardened exterior, a stark contrast to his usual brutal efficiency. He eventually has to incapacitate them, but the action leaves a clear mark, a grim reminder of the collateral damage in this brutal war, and perhaps a mirror to his own past trauma, which we're still piecing together. All right, buckle up, buttercups, because here comes the legendary, almost 12-minute one-shot sequence. It kicks off with Tyler and Ovi once again in a car, speeding through the impossibly crowded streets. This isn't just a chase, it's a meticulously choreographed dance of death. The camera feels like it's literally strapped to the car, twisting and turning with every near miss, every evasive maneuver. You can practically feel the G-forces. Enemy vehicles swerve in, bumping and grinding, their occupants unleashing a torrent of gunfire. The soundscape is a cacophony of screeching tires, smashing glass, and the constant hammering rhythm of automatic weapons fire. It's a masterclass in immersive action, blurring the lines between cinematic artifice and raw, adrenaline-pumping reality. You almost forget to breathe watching this. It's that intense. The one shot seamlessly transitions from the car chase to a full-blown apartment assault. Tyler crashes a car into the building because, why not? Then bursts in, immediately engaging. A new wave of Amir's men. The camera follows him through tight corridors, up stairwells, and into cramped rooms, never cutting. It's like you're playing a first-person shooter, but with infinitely better graphics and much higher stakes. Every punch, every chokehold, every headbutt feels impactful. The sheer brutality of the close-quarters combat leaving you wincing. The thud of bodies against walls, the strained grunts of effort, and the constant clang of metallic objects. It's a symphony of violence that is both horrifying and mesmerizing. This sequence showcases Tyler's sheer physical prowess and his relentless, almost robotic drive to complete the mission. The apartment sequence escalates further into a brutal knife fight against a particularly nasty henchman. This isn't elegant swordplay, it's raw, desperate, and incredibly painful. You can almost feel the sharp, cold steel as blades clash and scrape, the frantic shink of metal against metal. Tyler takes a few nasty hits, his blood splattering onto the grimy walls, adding to the grim authenticity. It's a testament to his sheer will and combat experience that he manages to overcome such a formidable opponent in such tight quarters. Ovi is, understandably, a terrified witness, cowering as the violence unfolds around him. The camera work remains impeccable, never breaking, pulling back just enough to show the full scope of the struggle, then pushing in for every gut-wrenching blow. It's a relentless, horrifying spectacle that perfectly encapsulates the film's brutal tone. Just when you think they might catch a breath, the one-shot spills out onto the streets again. Tyler and Ovi are back in the chaotic alleyways, sprinting, pushing through crowds, and somehow still fighting. The sensory overload is immense. The shouts of vendors, the blare of horns, and the constant rat-a-tat-tat of gunfire merging into one overwhelming assault. Tyler is a human battering ram, clearing a path. His movements economical and deadly. He's taking hits, grunting with effort, but his resolve never wavers. Ovi is a weary shadow, barely keeping up, fueled by sheer terror. This part of the sequence really drives home the relentless nature of the chase, the feeling that there is absolutely no safe haven in this city. It's a testament to the stunt team and camera operators who pulled this off. It almost looks impossible to execute. The one shot finally culminates in a desperate scramble through a grimy, claustrophobic sewer. Because when you've been through a car chase, an apartment raid, and a street brawl, where else would you go? It's dark, disgusting, and utterly fitting for the grim circumstances. The sounds of their splashing footsteps and strained breathing echo in the damp, enclosed space, adding to the feeling of suffocating desperation. Tyler, his clothes soaked and torn, pushes Ovi through the muck, driven by an almost primal need to survive. This descent into the literal underworld perfectly caps off the monumental sequence, offering a brief, albeit unsavory reprieve from the relentless surface-level pursuit. And with that, the epic continuous shot ends, leaving you to finally exhale, after holding your breath for what felt like an eternity. Phew, that was a ride, wasn't it? After the absolute insanity of the one-shot, they find another brief, almost sacred moment of respite. They're hidden, safe for a few precious minutes, and the immediate threat has receded. Both are utterly exhausted, covered in grime and blood, but alive. This is where the film finally allows a sliver of humanity to break through Tyler's hardened exterior. He's still stoic, but the shared trauma has forged an undeniable, if unspoken, bond with Ovi. The quiet allows Ovi to ask questions, to tentatively try and connect with this silent, lethal man who keeps saving his life. The drip-drip of water nearby is the only sound, emphasizing the silence. It's a crucial breather, allowing the audience and the characters to process the sheer amount of mayhem they've just endured before the next wave hits. In a surprisingly tender moment, Ovi, still somewhat wary, asks Tyler why he's doing all of this. What makes him risk his life for strangers? Tyler, after a beat, reluctantly reveals a painful part of his past. He had a son who died young from lymphoma. This is the raw, emotional core of Tyler Rake, the wound that never healed. He shows Ovi a faded photo, a ghost of a smile, a glimpse into the family life he lost. The revelation is delivered with a quiet, heartbreaking sincerity that hits harder than any explosion. It explains his reckless courage, his death wish almost. He's trying to outrun his grief, to find meaning in saving a life, any life, after failing to save his own son. The sudden intimacy is jarring, yet incredibly powerful, forging a genuine connection between the two. The weight of his son's death hangs heavy in the air. Tyler stares at the photo, lost in a sea of regret and sorrow. We get fleeting glimpses, flashbacks of happier times, contrasting sharply with his grim present. His self-destructive tendencies, his willingness to walk into impossible situations, are all rooted in this profound, unprocessed grief. He admits he left his son when he was sick, choosing to go on a deployment instead, a decision that haunts him every waking moment. The silence in the scene is deafening, punctuated only by Ovi's quiet breathing. This isn't just a tough mercenary. It's a broken man trying to find a reason to keep fighting, a way to atone for a past he can't change. It's a masterclass in showing, not telling, the true cost of his emotional burden. Meanwhile, Saju, after his earlier attempts to retrieve Ovi for his own selfish reasons, or rather his family's survival, experiences a change of heart. He realizes Amir has no intention of letting Ovi go, even if Saju delivers him. He makes a desperate phone call to Ovi Sr., outlining a new, more dangerous plan. A genuine extraction, this time working with Tyler, not against him. He's gambling everything, putting his own life on the line to save Ovi, no longer just for money, but for a semblance of honor and to protect his own family from Amir's wrath. The sound of his firm, determined voice conveys his newfound resolve. It's a crucial turning point, shifting the narrative from a three-way battle to an uneasy, high-stakes alliance against a common, relentless enemy. So, against all odds, Saju and Tyler, who were trying to murder each other 5 minutes ago, now have to work together. It's a tense, uneasy alliance, fueled by mutual desperation and the common goal of getting Ovi out alive. They meet in a shadowy corner of the city, their conversation hushed and urgent. They hash out a daring, almost suicidal escape plan. Cross the city's main bridge to freedom. A choke point they already know is crawling with Amir's forces. Saju, using his intimate knowledge of Dhaka and Amir's network, provides critical intel. The stakes are immense, and the trust between them is paper-thin, but it's their only shot. The clatter of distant city sounds highlights the vulnerability of their position. It's a classic enemy of my enemy scenario, but with far more explosive consequences. Of course, Amir Asif isn't stupid. He anticipates their likely escape route, the main bridge. He's seen this play before. From a commanding rooftop vantage point, he observes the entire span, his face a mask of smug anticipation. He's got his men positioned everywhere. Snipers, heavy machine gunners, barricades, turning the bridge into a literal kill zone. The sound of radio chatter and distant preparations builds the tension. He's confident, almost arrogant, in his ability to thwart any escape. This adds another layer of grim suspense. We know what's coming, but the characters are walking straight into it. It's a classic villain move, setting the stage for a truly epic and incredibly deadly showdown. Good luck, boys. You're gonna need it. The moment of truth arrives. Tyler, Ovi, and Saju race towards the bridge, a flimsy vehicle their only protection. The atmosphere inside the car is thick with a mixture of fear and grim determination. As they get closer, the sheer scale of Amir's ambush becomes terrifyingly clear. Suddenly, the quiet is shattered by the thunderous roar of automatic gunfire. The first shots erupt, peppering their vehicle with bullets, glass shattering with violent pings and crunches. It's an instant descent into chaos, forcing them to react on pure instinct. The thwack of bullets hitting metal, the desperate shouts, and the sheer volume of incoming fire is overwhelming. This isn't just a firefight. It's a full-scale war breaking out on a bridge, and our heroes are squarely in the middle of it. In a moment of profound sacrifice, Saju, already wounded, makes a desperate, heroic charge. He knows they can't both make it, and he needs to clear a path for Ovi. He becomes a human decoy, drawing the overwhelming enemy fire away from Tyler and Ovi, buying them precious seconds. The crack of a sniper rifle, the thud as he falls. It's a brutal, sudden end for a character who started as an antagonist but found redemption. His death is impactful, not just for the immediate shock, but for the weight it adds to Tyler's mission. He's not just saving a kid anymore, he's honoring a fallen, conflicted ally. The raw emotion on Tyler's face is fleeting but clear, a silent acknowledgement of Saju's ultimate act of selfless bravery. Just when all hope seems lost, a beacon of very violent hope arrives. Nick and her mercenary team. They position themselves on a distant rooftop, providing crucial sniper support. The whiz and thwack of their long-range rifle fire begins to pick off Amir's men, giving Tyler a much-needed tactical advantage. It's a symphony of coordinated chaos, as the close-quarters brutality on the bridge is complemented by the precise, deadly ballet of distant marksmanship. Nick, ever the professional, barks orders, directing fire with ice-cold precision. And the sudden shift in dynamics is palpable. Tyler is no longer completely alone. This intervention is a breath of fresh, gunpowder-scented air, allowing Tyler to push forward with renewed, desperate determination. But the odds are still astronomically against them. The bridge truly becomes a maelstrom of destruction. Explosions rock the structure, sending debris and bodies flying. It's an absolute spectacle of choreographed mayhem with Tyler at the epicenter. He's moving with frantic urgency, shielding Ovi with his own body, taking punishing blows and deflecting. Bullets with a grim determination. The roar of explosions, the clatter of falling metal, the screams of the wounded. It all blends into a terrifying, immersive soundscape. Tyler, wounded and bleeding, is running on pure adrenaline and sheer will, his every movement a testament to his desperate resolve. The camera work here is incredibly dynamic, constantly moving, keeping you right in the heart of the action, feeling every impact, every near miss. It's a non-stop, brutal assault on the senses. Tyler's body is screaming, but he pushes past the pain. He's bleeding, bruised, and probably has more broken bones than a cheap IKEA cabinet, but he's got one goal: get Ovi across that bridge. His movements are becoming more labored, his breathing ragged, but his eyes still burn with fierce intensity. He's using every last ounce of strength, every trick in the book, to clear a path. He throws himself into the fray, a one-man army, taking out enemies with brutal, desperate efficiency. The close-ups show the agony on his face, the strain in his muscles. Ovi, witness to this incredible display of self-sacrifice, finally starts to understand the depth of Tyler's commitment. It's a visceral depiction of a man teetering on the edge, fueled solely by a new, unexpected purpose. Despite Nick's excellent sniper support, Amir's forces are still overwhelming. They're like a tide, relentlessly pushing forward, closing the net around Tyler. The sound of their boots pounding on the bridge, the shouts of command, and the continuous gunfire create a suffocating sense of entrapment. Tyler is nearing the end of his endurance, but he continues to lash out, a cornered animal fighting for its life. The sheer number of enemies is daunting, illustrating the vastness of Amir's network and his unyielding desire for revenge. It truly feels like an impossible situation, even for someone as skilled as Tyler. The camera pulls back occasionally to show the sheer scope of the battle, highlighting Tyler's isolation amidst the hordes, making his final stand feel even more desperate and heroic. With Ovi finally making it to the extraction point, Tyler has fulfilled his promise. Now, it's just him against the world, or at least him against what feels like half of Dhaka. He makes his last stand, a final, heroic, and utterly suicidal push against the remaining enemies. He's hit multiple times. The thud of bullets impacting his body is sickening. His movements become slower, more deliberate, fueled by pure defiance. He takes out a few more bad guys, a final bloody flourish, refusing to go down without a fight. The roars of exertion, the final desperate shots fired. It's a tragic, yet awe-inspiring display of courage. He's making sure Ovi has every possible chance to escape, truly giving his last full measure of devotion. It's the kind of over-the-top, glorious self-sacrifice that only action heroes can pull off. While Tyler makes his last stand, Ovi Mahajan Jr. finally makes it across the bridge, running towards the waiting helicopter that represents his freedom. He looks back once, a quick, desperate glance, seeing Tyler fighting, knowing what this costs. The roar of the helicopter blades is deafening, a sound of salvation. He's pulled aboard, safe, but his face is etched with the trauma of what he's just witnessed and the immense sacrifice made for his life. The thump of his heart is still pounding, but the immediate threat is gone. It's a bittersweet victory, tainted by the heavy cost. He's escaped, but he's not the same kid who was kidnapped. He's seen the true brutality of the world, and the selfless heroism of a broken man. In the chaotic aftermath, as Ovi is lifted to safety, Tyler is still standing, barely. But a moment of distraction, a final twist of the knife, sees him take a fatal shot to the neck from Amir's main henchman, Farhad. The thud of the bullet is chillingly final. His body sways, the light fading from his eyes, and with a slow, agonizing descent, he falls backward off the bridge, plummeting into the murky river below. The splash is understated, almost silent, a stark contrast to the explosions and gunfire that preceded it. It's a tragic, yet poignant end to his journey, a final act of self-sacrifice completed. The camera lingers on the empty space where he once stood, leaving a profound sense of loss and a question mark hanging over his fate. In the immediate aftermath, Nick and Yaz, flying overhead, confirm that Ovi is safe, but their victory is bittersweet. They search for Tyler's body, but the murky river offers no answers. His fate is ambiguous, a stark, silent absence. They secure the area, but the mood is somber, tinged with a deep sense of loss. Nick, usually so composed, shows a rare flicker of emotion, a silent acknowledgement of the friend and partner they've likely lost. The sounds of distant sirens and the wail of emergency vehicles slowly replace the gunfire, indicating the return to some semblance of order, but the scars of the battle are deep. The team leaves, carrying Ovi to safety, but leaving a legend and a question behind in the depths of the river. Months later, we see Ovi Mahajan Jr. back in India, seemingly returned to his normal, privileged life. He's at school, surrounded by classmates, but he's clearly changed. The trauma of his ordeal, the things he saw, the lives lost for him, It all weighs heavily on him. He's quieter, more reflective. The carefree boy gone, replaced by someone who has stared into the abyss. The sounds of playful shouts and everyday school life seem distant to him, a stark contrast to the explosions and gunfire that still echo in his memory. It's a subtle but powerful portrayal of the psychological toll of such an intense experience. He's physically safe, but his mind is still navigating the war zone he just escaped. He's a survivor, but survival comes at a steep price. In the film's final moments, Ovi is by a swimming pool, perhaps reflecting on everything. He dives in, and as he resurfaces, we see him look up. In the background, on the edge of the pool, a blurred figure stands, observing him. It's tall, muscular, and undeniably resembles Tyler Rake. But is it really him? Or is it Ovi's mind playing? Tricks on him, a figment of his imagination, or a guardian angel he wishes was real? The ambiguity is palpable, a quiet echo of the unanswered questions. The gentle splash of the water, the muted sounds of the pool, it all adds to the dreamlike quality of the scene. It's a thoughtful, hopeful, yet ultimately inconclusive ending, leaving us to wonder if Tyler truly cheated death, or if his spirit continues to watch over the boy he sacrificed everything to save. A beautiful, poignant bookend to a brutal journey.
Sit down. Get your